Number of Bitcoin non-zero addresses. A record high. Investor enthusiasm rekindled. But the UTXO data is deadlocked. Where have all the Bitcoin traders gone? Coinbase defies US regulation. Officially entered the Canadian market. Can Canadian deposits and withdrawals be extremely smooth? China made cryptocurrency industry law. Clear again. It's a new round of encryption crackdown coming again. Bitcoin spot ETF approved toss and turns. Former SEC director gives clear advice. Burn $700,000 a day. User churn intensifies. Will ChatGPT bring down OpenAI? Change the world with cryptocurrency. Get our wealth code. Let's get rich together.
This is Media Blockchain. On Tuesday, February 15, in Michael. Let's see today. The concept cool, let's go. What does it mean? Actually, it's Bitcoin, a means of preventing double spending. Simply speaking, you're in the process of transferring Bitcoin every time. We'll put the balance on all your assets, transfer all out, and then put the remaining balance. Go to your address. This is called let's go. So by analyzing let's go, we can learn about Bitcoin, current distribution, including it in every price range, number of Bitcoins, and its trading activities. Then according to the latest data, Bitcoin's let's go generated price, mainly concentrated at $28,900 to $29,400. What does this mean? It is within this price range. Large amounts of Bitcoins are produced and traded. Then this price range, the longer it exists, market activity, the longer the stagnation. Additional data show 10% of the total Bitcoin supply, concentrated between us 28,000 800 30,800. This indicates that within this price range, large number of Bitcoin investors just holding without participating in the transaction. Also explain what. It also shows that the price of 30,800, there will be a very strong selling pressure. Okay, let's see. Number of Bitcoin addresses. Data shows number of non-zero addresses for Bitcoin. Now it has exceeded 48 million. 39,035 reach. This is a record high. Long-term holders of Bitcoin, about 4 million Bitcoins are currently held, is now in a state of loss. This may have been during the last bull market, entered during the process. This round of hoarding party. This figure compared with the same period last year is an increase of 15.7%. Then in 2021, the chain is an increase of 86.23%. So the number of non-zero addresses for Bitcoin represents the actual participation, address and number of coins for Bitcoin transactions. The continued growth of this number indicates the enthusiasm of users to hoard coins is constantly expanding. This is also in a bear market. Okay, let's see again. More positive news. For 3 consecutive weeks, after net outflow of funds, then among encrypted investment products finally showed up last week. $29 million net inflows. Among them, Bitcoin is the main investment focus. Total investment in the previous 3 weeks reached $144 million. After net outflow, Bitcoin's products in the last week showing the net inflow. How much money? $27 million. In addition, ethereum's investment products, leading the entire altcoin market, presented a net inflow of $2.05 million. Uniswap and Solana at the same time, $700,000 appeared separately, and a net inflow of $400,000. Although so far, Bitcoin transaction volume still at a seasonal low. But the data show market for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market sentiment still buy and supported. This improvement in market sentiment mainly from the recent year as inflation data came in slightly higher than market expectations. It also means chances of rate hike in September may be smaller. Please press like. We'll sort out news you must follow in the 24 hours. First, look at the listed exchanges in the United States. That is Coinbase. Coinbase is really having a rough year. SEC to Coinbase for various reasons filed various complaints. It's useless to pay a fine just to sue you. Of course, as a counter, Coinbase also filed a complaint with the SEC. Do you think one is the government regulatory department, one is enterprise, who will suffer the most from a lawsuit between the two sides? Of course, the enterprise suffers the most, so Coinbase also sprouted the idea of going to other countries to develop. It's a very logical thing. In March this year, we reported Coinbase hired Lucas Matheson, director of Canada. At the same time, Coinbase also launched Canadian bank payment network called Interac, so users in Canada sign up for this Coinbase now can use Interac, electronically transfer CAD to Coinbase after selling cryptocurrency. Also available through Interac, convert crypto assets to Canadian currency. All deposits and withdrawals have been opened, so now Coinbase is officially announcing going to Canada.
CEO of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong announces Coinbase officially enters Canada. Coinbase has new leadership in Canada, new payment method, new regulatory milestones, and 200 local employees, and call this wise country. The technology is being adopted to help update the financial system and promote economic growth. Previously, Canada in February, after imposing strict regulatory rules on the encryption industry, let multiple large cryptocurrency exchanges have opted out of the Canadian market. Among them are Binance, Bybit, and OX. However, for Coinbase, industry rules are friendlier in Canada. Crypto regulation in the US needs refinement and improvement.
Well, so the first one is we just need to get some clarity about the market structure and how, the CFTC and the SEC are both going to regulate this industry. What are the boundaries? I think we also need to just bring in some basic consumer protections, which are, around wash trading prevention, AML, KYC, having audited financial statements. These are just kind of best practices that can come over from traditional financial services and be applied to crypto. And then I think we also need to get a little bit more clarity about stablecoins, because that's been a really big use case and area of growth for crypto. And so there's still a little bit of lack of clarity there about how issuance works and things like that. So it's actually not rocket science. This is just applying some of these really basic common sense ideas to the industry. And then once we have that legislation in place, I think we'll start to see some of the entrepreneurs who've left the US come back.
The first is that we need to figure out market structure and how to know about skepticism. And second, we'll regulate the industry. What is the boundary? I think we also need to introduce some basic consumer protection. What do you know about wash trading prevention? Audited financial statements. These just can't. Borrowing from traditional financial services and best practices applied to cryptocurrencies. Then I thought, one more thing we need to know. More clarity on stable counters, because this is a very large use case. Also a growth area for cryptocurrencies. So for you to know how distribution works, and things like, still not clear about the advantages. So it's not actually rocket science. This is just some very basic common sense ideas applied to this industry. And then once we have the legislation in place, I think we'll start to see some entrepreneurs who left the US return. Okay, let's talk today. What I didn't want to talk about, but the problem that has to be faced, is China's attitude towards cryptocurrency policy. Actually, it's very clear. That's the first. China bans Bitcoin mining in the country. Other cryptocurrencies. There will also be joint and several responsibilities, although not expressly stipulated, but it will be associated. Do not allow other cryptocurrencies to mine. It is impossible to open an exchange. But if you want to trade in crypto assets, something went wrong and there was a loss, at your own risk. This is in the file. Spirit that can be read, whether it was the 94 incident in 2017 or the 51994 incident in 21 years. In fact, it has not risen to the level of legislation. It's just a red-headed document of the ministries and commissions. Then the document is equivalent to the law. It's a depressing thing. Then the recent Chinese media started sending out a lot of news again to blame cryptocurrency. The danger of money laundering. Many people say this means a new round of suppression. Start again.
An article on the 12th page of the Economic Daily pointed out that virtual currency is decentralized, anonymity, global convertibility, features such as transaction convenience, money laundering methods are more covert, hard to track, opens new avenues for money laundering crimes. Therefore, cut off the virtual currency money laundering industry chain. Need to catch the new features of the new money laundering multi-pronged approach. Form a joint force. Regulators need to go further. improve the supervision mechanism, strengthen technology empowerment through the combination of online monitoring and offline investigation, realize virtual currency transactions, full chain tracking of exchange, and full-time information backup, deter money laundering, etc., the spread of illegal and criminal activities.
Speaking of money laundering, cryptocurrencies certainly have money laundering properties. It can be turned into an illegal tool for money laundering. But there are many more ways to launder money. For you, as dollar is the big money launderer. Can high-end jewelry be laundered? Can real estate in Hong Kong be laundered? International normal trade of goods. Can money laundering be done? These are the big players and hardest hit areas of money laundering. We can't stop eating because of choking, because it has the function of money laundering, and prohibit a thing. You can see things like Korea, Japan, Bhutan, El Salvador, Venezuela, hundreds of countries around the world. Blockchain and digital finance, attributes of financial innovation. Only China still treats it as illegal finance. So if this era, if it cannot be corrected quickly, then China's new technology, the starting point of new financial development, will be more than a century behind. Bitcoin Spot F has experienced 9981 difficulties. The day of the Republican election. That's when the F passed. What do you think? OpenAI financials spark widespread concern. Is a pin or the most dangerous mine?
Bitcoin Spot ETF has experienced 9981 difficulties. The day of the Republican election. That's when the ETF passed. What do you think? OpenAI's financials spark widespread concern. Is OpenAI the most dangerous mine?
Do you remember a few months ago, BlackRock and Fidelity submitted an application for a Bitcoin Spot ETF? DUSERG, these two asset management giants, submit the application at the same time. What does that mean? It's kind of like making trouble with the SEC. If you don't see through me, what will you do? Actually, at the time, attracted great market attention. Currency prices have also risen for a period of time. But everyone knows this won't work, it's sure. Do you still remember when you were 21 years old? More than a dozen institutions jointly applied for F. Also failed. Although the application process, many organizations have stumbled. But when will the F pass? This is a question everyone is asking. Now former director of the SEC's Office of Enforcement, John Derry Stark.
John Reed Stark thought. SEC will not approve Bitcoin Spot ETF for now. But he also said, after the U.S. presidential election in mid-November next year, for the state of cryptocurrency regulation, there will be exponential changes. John thinks in 2024, if a Republican candidate is elected President of the United States, Republicans appointed to the SEC will likely significantly reduces SEC enforcement against cryptocurrencies. Enforcement will focus on banning registration violations, change to fraud case, more willing to approve Bitcoin Spot ETF, and are more likely to conduct other important crypto-friendly regulatory actions. Republican wins presidential election will hopefully change the situation.
Development of an industry depends on us policy, rotation of government, or the authorities, rotation of candidates to develop. It's a feature of American politics. It is also a feature of the American economy. But for the cryptocurrency industry, it is in great need of continuous and stable policy output. If the two parties in the United States cannot be used for the encrypted asset industry, form a consensus, the United States is certainly not a paradise for digital asset development. America will also lose its leadership in digital asset rulemaking. The United States will also lose the opportunity. Press like if you agree. It is said that the update speed of the currency circle is very fast, so it's hot spots wave after wave. Instant then metaverse, and now opinion artificial intelligence. Now everyone sees chat the keyword search since May. There is a sign of a fever, so now it's even more. News that chat is going bankrupt. This surprised a lot of people. After all, OpenAI is a very influential company. Its research output open source platform, how responsive is its artificial intelligence, is widely recognized by all. But the bankruptcy crisis, what is going on? Let's take a closer look.
According to Analytics India magazine, a report published recently, ChatGPT service costs $700,000 per day. Also, number of users of ChatGPT website in June and July, down from May. 1.5 billion users in July, 12 drop from 1.7 billion in June. Although the company tries to pass Job 3.5 and Gopt4 to achieve profitability, however, this has not yet been able to create sustainable profitable business model. If OpenAI cannot find a stable and profitable model, in the end, it is likely to face the crisis of bankruptcy.
From the user's point of view, I give a peanut every month, pay $20 to use Chat4, because Chat4 figured something out. It will be more complete and richer than 3.5. In terms of its profit model, may be relatively simple, just a membership fee. There may be no way to cover its costs, but from OpenAI's current fundraising and its reserves, I think support operation should be no problem. For the news of the bankruptcy now, I think it's an interesting news. We should be objective, or a cautious approach to it. Everyone sees OpenAI. The future of artificial intelligence is promising. Otherwise Apple, Tesla, Musk won't announce to enter the big market of AI. I believe in the future of AI competition, only more intense. Well, let's take a look at today's currency circle bulletin.
Data information, Coinbase Layer 2 network-based chain. The first net outflow of funds occurred yesterday. Net outflow of $278.5 million since the base chain was launched on the mainnet. TVL is growing rapidly. According to Layer 2 bit data, base has occurred. According to official sources, famous beverage brand Coca-Cola issue a series of NFTs on the base chain. This NFT series brings together works of art from the world, combined with Coca-Cola's iconic bottle. There are currently 5 NFTs in the series mintable, minting price from 0.001. According to official sources, famous beverage brand Coca-Cola issue a series of NFTs on the base chain. This NFT series brings together works of art from the world, combined with Coca-Cola's iconic bottle. There are currently 5 NFTs in the series mintable, minting price from 0.001. After MakerDAO raises interest rates, DAI's market capitalization over the past 7 days increased by nearly $1 billion. According to CoinMarketCap data, DAI's market capitalization has risen from $4.5 billion on August 6, increased to $4.5 billion. Increased to $1.270 billion. The independent sanctions watchdog says North Korean hackers continue to target attacks on companies in the cryptocurrency space. Their findings reveals Pyongyang's continued advancement of its nuclear weapons and weapons programs, and will be included in the United Nations in an upcoming report in the coming weeks.
In our comment section, it is often discussed that, what is success? Many people say, success is having a lot of money. I can do whatever I want. While in my opinion, success is not doing what you want. I can reject all the people and things I don't like, but I can live comfortably. That is all for today. We will help you sort out top news you must follow in this industry every day. I hope our work can help with your investment. In this link, you can check all membership benefits. I hope you join our member-exclusive group. Help us make it more professional. Let's survive the bear market together. Let's get rich together. See you tomorrow.